In this video, we'll not only learn the basics of Sumerian cuneiform, but we'll also get a demonstration as to how it was written from my friend Jake, a modern Sumerian scribe. You won't want to miss this. So, what is cuneiform? Let's find out. Cuneiform is believed by most scholars to be the earliest known system of writing. It was developed by the ancient Sumerians in southern Mesopotamia around 3200 BC, though some scholars believe that it may have appeared as early as 3300 BC. Using a reed stylus, early Sumerian scribes pressed wedge-shaped marks into soft clay tablets. Each mark, or sign, represented an object, sound, or syllable. In the centuries that followed, various types of cuneiform script were chiseled into stone monuments, bricks, mountainsides and cliffs, and other objects with hard surfaces. Cuneiform was initially used for record keeping, but it gradually evolved over the centuries to convey more complex ideas, including legal, administrative, religious, and literary texts. Eventually, it was adopted and modified by the peoples of various ancient Near Eastern cultures for their own languages, including Akkadian, Elamite, Hittite, Hurrian, Urartian, and Old Persian. Cuneiform systems of writing were used continuously throughout the region for around 3,000 years, until they were widely replaced by alphabetic scripts such as Aramaic and later Greek. The earliest proto-cuneiform signs depicted recognizable items like bread, beer, grain, goats, sheep, and livestock. For example, the head of a bull was used to represent cattle, while barley could be symbolized by a sign that looked like an ear of barley. Sometimes, though, the meaning was not as clear-cut and had to be read by association with another symbol. For example, the sign for a bowl could mean food or bread, but when coupled with the sign of a human head, the two together meant to eat. Centuries later, these proto-cuneiform signs were adapted for quicker writing with a reed stylus that was used to create distinct wedge-shaped impressions on soft clay, what we today recognize as cuneiform. These tablets were then left to dry in the sun, which hardened the impressions and preserved them permanently. Cuneiform was particularly well suited for the Sumerian language, as most Sumerian words are monosyllabic, which allowed nearly every spoken word to be represented by a single symbol. Thanks to the discovery and translation of these cuneiform tablets, mostly in the Sumerian and Akkadian languages, we can get a glimpse into the lives of the ancient people of Mesopotamia and gain some valuable insights into the history of this region over millennia. The greatest number of Sumerian texts come from the Neo-Sumerian, or Ur-3 period, which dates to roughly between 2112 to 2004 BC. During this time, Sumerian was the official language used in administrative and economic documents. It also dominated the cultural sphere and was used extensively for recording hymns, literature, and religious texts. Now, we're in for a real treat, because my buddy Jake, Manchester, England's finest Sumerian scribe, is going to write for us a line from a very famous poem dating to the Neo-Sumerian era. It's commonly known as a praise poem of Shulgi. Shulgi was the second and most powerful king of the Neo-Sumerian, or Third Dynasty of Ur, and ruled from 2094 to 2047 BC. The first 6 lines of the hymn read as follows. I, the king, was a hero already in the womb. I, Shulgi, was born to be a mighty man. I am a fierce-looking lion, begotten by a dragon. I am the king of the 4 regions. I am the herdsman and the shepherd of the black-headed people. I am a respected one, the god of all the lands. So, let's take a look at which line Jake is going to write for us.
Hello guys, my name is Jake Baxter and I am an amateur Sumerian scribe. I am Dumu Enki over on Instagram and TikTok, where I create cuneiform tablets written in the Sumerian language, and I also teach the Sumerian language in bite-sized posts to make it easy and digestible.
So the actual styluses back in the day would have been made from reeds, so they would have been like kind of oval with like a popsicle kind of shape, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to believe that they wouldn't have had kind of a mishmash of different shapes, if that makes sense. Slightly messy lugal shape there. That's not awesome, no. So there we've got lugal maten, literally I the king, or I am the king straight away. And now we've got the symbol for heart. And then you have to put a little X in the middle. So it's a little bit messy, but that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is from.
The praise poem to Shulgi, yeah. Alright, so one of the most famous New Sumerian kings. Arguably the best king of the Sumerian.
According to himself.
Yes, according to himself. And dating one apparently as well. So that phrase straight away we've got Lugal Maten, Shagta, Ursang Maten. So that literally just says, I the king, from the womb, I was a hero, or I was a warrior. So we probably haven't got enough room for the next line because of how I've done it too big. So yeah, so what we could do, I could fit it on, but it just looks a bit messy, but we'll do it anyway, just to show the camera. Do this.
Oh, you make it look so easy, but I mean, this is something that, at least back in the day, students took years to master, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it took you a long time too. I mean, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, this is classed as a failed tablet to me, to be honest, just because of the lack of detail that I would like. But it's not too bad. I've done worse, I guess.
I think it's awesome.
So we got Dinga, Kura. I've actually missed a call, but we can stick it in there. And the thing is, they don't tell you is that you can't really rub things out either. There we go. So just squeeze that in there. There we go. So there we go. And then at the end we have Dinga Kokora Me'en. So I am God of all the lands. Is basically what that says. Which is basically what you were just saying about him saying, declaring himself a god. He did that in his own praise poem.
So if we can read the whole line, I guess for the audience, I'd love to.
Yeah. So we have Lugal Me'en, Shagta, Ursang Me'en, Dinga Kokora Me'en, which essentially says, I, the king, from the womb, I was a hero. I am the god of all the lands. Beautiful, isn't it?
That is
There you go.
probably the most recognizable song.
Probably best if I do it this way. I'll do it again.
So I guess in ancient Mesopotamia, they would have used a reed stylus.
That's correct, yeah.
In place of that, you're using...
So it's like a wooden chopstick, essentially. Like a makeshift. There you go, that's a bit better, that one. That's a better one. Yeah. So that they would have actually done this is as part of their school practice as well. But there's been many school tablets found in kind of the Babylonian periods of them just replicating the same sign over and over again, basically, as practice, like the early sort of part of the start of the curriculum, if you like.
So every scribe would learn first Sumerian and then Akkadian, or how did it work?
So the scribes were already Akkadian speakers, so they would have probably had a decent grasp on Akkadian already, but so they would have definitely learned Sumerian. I don't know if it was first, but I know they did something called the Decad. If you're familiar with the Decad, the obviously the 10 compositions, so they would have to kind of make it through all that first. But I imagine that they did Akkadian as well. It was their native language, so. I'll quiz you. Whose name's that? Can you recognise that name?
Not Shulgi, right?
No, it's Enki. Enki.
Key. I know this is key.
Yeah, and this is En Lord, or Master or Lord, and then obviously the divine determinative just before.
So this says Enki.
Just says Enki. That's just his name, Lord of Earth. Yeah.
So, we hope that you enjoyed this little cuneiform introduction, explanation, and demonstration. Lots more ancient history on the way, so stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'd also like to thank the channel's patrons for making videos like this possible. These include, but are certainly not limited to, Grandkek69, Jaap de Graaf, Pasta Frola, Michael Lewis, Danielle Allen, Danny Van Eck, Wanix TV, Robert Morgan, Strobex, Frank, Tim Lane, Sebastian Otato Correa, Michael Trudell, Leader Titan, Micah G, John Scarberry, Andrew Bomer, Connor Dolson, Krish, David R, Stephen Ball, Gabe, Monty Grimes, Franz Robbins, Cyrus Mir, Dianastra, Nimrod Nir, Hypnosan, Brendan Redman, Faridun Dadachanji, Jimmy Daruwala, Anahita Debu, Gulistan Debu, Sher Kam, Farhad Kama, and all of the channel's patrons on Patreon for helping to support this and all future content. Check out the benefits to being a Patreon member, and if you'd like to join, feel free to click the link in the video description. You can also follow History with Sai on Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as continue to listen to special audio programs on the History with Sai podcast. Thanks again, and stay safe.